Day we wait every single year for this magnificent celebration of womanhood. Welcome to the Macho Show! Except today, it's a little less macho because it's International Women's Day.
Bring it, girlfriend. Bring it.
Oh, oh. Pussy power!
Pussy power is all what it's about.
Exactly. So I am Medusa, and I am joined by my lovely companion here. I don't want to misgender you, so please let us know who you are today.
My name is Madame. Just Madame. I don't need any fancy name. Although I would say that my agenda is apricot.
That sounds very tender and juicy. Would you elaborate that on that a little bit?
Well, my exterior is quite firm, but deep on the inside I am, as you say, very, very juicy. Mm.
I think I want to taste. I don't know about you guys. Oh, but yes, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence today. We are very I'm sure you're very prominent among the women's issues and such.
Well, the women's issues is the only place I feel like me, because the men just have no understanding of what harm they cause upon all of us not men. In truth, they should have an apricot appreciation day. But until such time, I join the women on their march.
Absolutely. I'm honored that you would settle for our march, because I feel like trans people are on just like a whole nother level than women, honestly, especially if you're a minority.
Well, honey, I'm not a trans.
Here's my manservant.
I don't want you to be confused. I'm not a man. Now, it may look like I have a penis, but it was really a vagina at the moment I was born.
Ah, okay. That makes perfect sense.
Anyone who says different, anyone who says, you, madame, have a penis, they're just transphobic.
Exactly. See, I personally, I have a feminine penis. I was born, well, some bigoted people would call it a hermaphrodite, but see, I identify as nothing. Literally nothing. I identify as no gender. There's no name for it. It's because it's just that fucking rare. But I'm sure I'm not trying to have a snowflake war here. I'm sure we're both on the same, perhaps the same level of oppression here.
Oh, honey, if you have a penis, you are the oppressor. That's just the way there is.
Oh, shit, I forgot. I'm so sorry. I have to check my privilege right now.
Oh, no, honey. No, honey. A female penis is always superior to a man penis.
See, you're right. You're absolutely right there. Oh, shit. Okay. Mr. Misanthropic said, turn your mic down some. I'm sorry! I don't think it's appropriate for you to be telling me to do so, Mr. Man. I am a woman and you will hear me at my full volume. But no, I'll try and fix that.
This is why women need a day. Because every day is about Mr. and Mr. telling us women what to do. Well,
exactly.
Mr., you can check your privilege and back the hell off and shut your mouth. Today is about us. Today is about women. We deserve a day. All the oppression that we have to suffer every day. It's unjust, and yet there's nothing we can do about it. So we are taking the day off work. We're going to the streets, and we're going to say, fuck you to all of the men. We are sluts. We are proud. We are women.
That's right, girl. They hear you roar. All right, I'm just gonna back my microphone away from me, so hopefully that works a little bit because I'm not sure how to turn it down. But yes. Did you just assume my gender? I did. I am so sorry. I did not ask what your pronouns were. Even if Z is male presenting, they could potentially be a woman. You never know.
Well, I also identify as a giraffe.
Oh, such beautiful creatures.
They are.
They're one of my favorite animals. Someone said oh, Mad Kathy. I like that. Someone said Mad Kathy should wear makeup more.
Yes. Okay, you have outed me, Madame Mad Kathy. Kathy. Damn you. Damn you.
Yeah, that's not appropriate, but I appreciate you being able to handle, the outage. Oh, you're such a strong, brave person.
I told you I'm a giraffe.
Yes, such a beautiful, majestic giraffe. May I feed you some leaves?
Well,
it would be my honor.
You can definitely stroke my neck if you know what I mean.
Oh, goodness, Kathy. Oh. Mr. Misanthropic said he found a great story for Women's Day. Let us know what it is.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
But first, we need to give our little rants, what we do on every day of this show, or every time we're on. So it's International Women's Day, a day that we celebrate the one day that it's not about you men. It's not about your penises and how big it is and how you must rape women to feel like a man. This is a day where we get together and we talk about the hard issues, about how men spread their legs in public, about how men talk over us women when we're wrong. This day, we stand up and say, no, men, you cannot take our voice away. You cannot take our freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We are strong. We are proud. We are non-men. And until you step down in your position as the dominators, the controllers, you will always be the oppressors. You will always be the rapists of society. It is you,
Amen.
white, straight, cisgendered males who have destroyed this world. And it will take eons to repair the damage you've done.
Only with the power of women and non-identifying persons.
I am giraffe. Hear me roar. Rah!
Such a beautiful giraffe noise.
I need to go powder my nose. I'll return very shortly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a beautiful, strong, independent woman. I'm shaking. I'm literally shaking. Oh man. See, as a woman of 1/16 color and a trans or queer individual. Queer is not a bad word anymore, just so you know. That's not offensive anymore. But only if you're a queer person. If you're not a queer person, then queer is very offensive. Offensive. Oh. So, I personally just want to thank all the beautiful, wonderful women, like the leaders of the Women's March, such as the woman who tortured and sodomized and murdered a man, along with amongst a few other women, and got out of jail, and now she's speaking at women's marches. It's absolutely beautiful that she could conquer a man like that and just shove it literally to the oppressors until they were destroyed. That this great job to her, and also to all of the strong women who are very, very supportive of Sharia law, because everyone knows that there's nothing more progressive than Islam, and, you know, wanting to circumcise young girls and, you know, marry 9-year-olds and things like that, and stone women who were raped. That's absolutely what we're all about at the Women's March. Your clapping hurts my brain. Thank you. I'm honestly not sure how I'm supposed to do this. Hang on. Let me see if there's some settings like within the computer. I'm not actually sure. Oh, hi, Animancer. How are you? In the chats. Giraffes don't roar? Are you trying to be transphobic right now? Because that's very inappropriate. She can roar however Z wants, okay? You can't tell him, her, whether he, she can't roar or not just because he, she is a giraffe sexual. Speaking of which, where did Shim go? I don't know, but I'm gonna drink this beer. Why does Animancer not have a ranch? Go to the ranch! That's actually, yeah, that's very surprising. Maybe either he has not been on enough, or in my chats enough, or he hasn't, or he's on a different channel. I don't know. Mad Kathy, where the fuck did you go? Alright. Check Twitter DMs, says Mr. Misanthropic. A co-ed calendar. Man, I hope everybody already knows that we're trying to do a male and a female calendar for, well, we were trying to do it for 2019, but now it's going to be 2020. I don't have a link, but a British rapper now owns the record for women's deadlifts. Oh, yeah.
Hey! I am sorry for that.
Oh, please don't apologize.
Did anyone see a giraffe walking by?
Oh, shit. Wait, really? Did I miss it?
So, International Women's Day. By the way, I wasn't really wearing makeup. It was just a filter that I had. Perfect camera. Cyberlink. Very good software suite if anyone doesn't have it. Power Director. Anywho, today is International Women's Day. And I want to start off by saying I'm not against women having a day. I'm really not. I'm all for it. Because I think men need to have a day. And if we're truly wanting to be egalitarian, then women also need to have a day. And trans people need to have a day, and apricots need to have a day. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone, it's okay for everyone to have a day to raise awareness about the issues going on. But the problem that I have with International Women's Day is the hypocrisy. I mean, if women wanted to get together and talk about how mistreated women are anywhere else than the first world, you would have a great case to make. I think men and women are mistreated across the world, but if you wanted to focus on just the women, that's fine. You know, because then we have Men's Day and we can focus on the issues that men face, especially across the world. Mm-hmm. But what's their major gripes in the first world? That men spread their legs, men interrupt women, men correct women. You know, everything is about how they have nothing when they are the most free women in all of history. Women can do more today than any other women in any other time period in history.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they would have you believe that they couldn't. They would have you believe that rape is at an all-time high, even though it's been going down for many, many years. That violent crime against women is high, even though it's been going down for many years. It's just so fascinating to me that women will sit there and criticize that, oh, every day is a men's day, when in truth it's not. Not even the days that are supposed to be for us is about us. Look how feminism has tried to take over Father's Day. How it's celebrate women on Father's Day. But you don't see celebrate fathers on Mother's Day, do you? No. The problem is with International Women's Day is it's not about women. It's about trying to take over. And I know this sounds like paranoid ranting, but that's what it really is. It's not really addressing any women whatsoever or their problems. It's about who is the most oppressed, and that's who we focus on. Let's focus on the Muslim women, even though they come from a culture that is very misogynistic.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to say that the U.S. is misogynistic? Nowhere compared to the Muslim or Islam cultures. And I know someone's going to say, well, Islam's not a culture, it's a religion. Fuck you.
It's pretty much both.
I know, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like
Jewish is a religion and culture, so.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that women on International Women's Day would try to focus more on women, on girls. You know, you want to promote like a STEM initiative to get more women in STEM, go for it. I'm happy to be a part of that. I'm happy to support that. But to say that the system is designed to keep women out, fuck no. Because the system's not designed to keep women out. It's designed to take the brightest minds and give them a challenge in such a way that women tend not to excel in that. I had so many points I wanted to address, and I just completely forgot them. It must have been all of the chemicals I put on my face.
Well, Mr. Misanthropic said, in Islam, women are lower than property. And, I mean, pretty much just shows you. I mean, I honestly, like, just look at the woman who moved over to Syria and joined ISIS and is like, oh shit, this is actually really bad, help. And they're like, nah. Like, just, come on. Like, it's just common sense, honestly. Like, I personally have not met a female Muslim, like a modern day female Muslim. I have not met one yet. I've seen women in hijabs, not burqas, but like, you know, the job with their face showing, yeah. And I just like I honestly, a lot of their some of their stuff is pretty, but it's like I don't know. It's I don't see many millennials around here doing it. But I know that it's very popular in big cities for anybody to, or any chicks to go along with it. I don't know. I honestly don't. I wonder if it's more prevalent among male or female millennials, because it's weird for either of them to be into it, but. I don't know. People are nuts.
About 10 years ago, I knew a chick. She was really strange. She considered herself gender fluid back before that really became a thing. And she would wear a hijab everywhere. And she was white. She doesn't have to wear it, and yet she did. And she did it just so she could be different, just so she could make people uncomfortable while spouting off about diversity. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it. But years later, when all of this really started to come to a head, I'm like, wow, she was really a piece of shit. She didn't care about, you know, extending diversity or raising awareness of anything. She just wanted to be different so people could complain about her and she could feel empowered that she was doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably what gets to me the most about all this. I mean, you're dealing with what, spokespeople who are tied to a man who's anti-Semite. And when you talk to any of the women about it, it's like, well, yeah, I'm not anti-Semite, but I don't think that's necessarily true. These women are knowingly ignorant. They don't want to know anything about the issues. I have feminist friends, and I tell them about some of the shit that's going on. They're completely ignorant about it. Mm-hmm. We have a movement that is built upon the aspect that women cannot know anything and are oppressed by men. It's really women oppressing women. And that's what this really boils down to, is that...
Or women oppressing themselves. Yeah. They're like, the wage gap is still real. No, it's not. Stop pretending.
Well, it's because someone said it. Yeah. And so they're just going to believe it out of turn. You know, I've had debates with feminists who are like, well, rape doesn't happen that often for men. I'm like, yes, it does. It's like, no, there was a study. And I'm like, what study is that, by the way? And they're like, well, I'm not going to do homework for you. You have to look it up yourself. Well, I already know what study you're referring to. The sad part is you don't. They're referring to the CDC 2010 study, which stated that women get raped in higher proportions than men, because Mary Koss, who designed it, decided to take Force to Penetrate out. So it looked like women, like 90% of rape victims were women. When you put it back in, it was 50-50. Kathy Young actually proved that, who is also another feminist like Kathy, Christina Hoff Sommers. Mm-hmm. But you know what also gets me is like how it's like every year I look at these lists of great women honored for Women's Day or feminism, and there are certain women they never mention. And I've never figured out why. Like Marie Curie. She's the first woman to win the Nobel Prize. Also the first woman to win 2 Nobel Prizes. But she did this in 1909. Before these suffragettes really pushed their movement and got the right to vote in America in 1912. By 1912, she had already won 2 Nobel Prizes. But I guess they can't talk about that because it goes against the narrative that if women worked really hard, they could rise at the top. And it's hard to go any higher than a Nobel Prize. In fact, her daughter also shared a Nobel Prize with her husband, but not mentioned at all. How about the women who designed MBTI, Myers-Briggs Type Indicator? 2 women after World War II designed a system that is widely used today by several corporations, and it was invented by 2 women, and they never get mentioned. I mean, for people who want to say women are superior, you seem to forget 2 women who change how we look at personalities. And I'm just baffled why they never get mentioned.
Well, now, see, that's the thing. No matter how many women do great things, there's always going to be a woman who feels inadequate to a man. And I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. They're always going to feel inadequate. I don't understand why. I don't feel inadequate to men. Well, no, I feel physically inadequate, definitely, and emotionally. But in other ways, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Bring Snickers on. Oh, that's funny. But
don't read what we say in the chat.
You said Snickers. That's funny. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I sent him the invite. Mr. Misanthropic said he's willing to join if we want another person as well. But for now,
let's give Snickers a chance to speak. And if we have some time, definitely Mr. come on and talk about whatever.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about, but it's just like the whole the anti-male thing in general is just so trendy now. And I mean, it kind of always has been, because I fell into it when I was a kid, and now it's just like widely accepted that men are pieces of shit and women are these sweet, innocent little fucking. And that's the whole reason that entire mindset is the whole reason why the sentencing gap is so fucking large, and women just get off scot-free for killing, raping, and doing all sorts of shit to anybody. Children, men, boys, doesn't matter, or girls, boys, doesn't matter. They're just like, hey, you obviously were just really sad about your life, and that's why you did that. Probation, like, okay. Whatever. Oh, I guess I better go start fucking taking advantage of this.
Well, see, and that's the other problem with all of this is their approach to this as being a zero-sum game. That if men benefit in any way, any small way, it hinders women. It hurts women. So they're against anything that might help men a little bit, such as 50-50 shared custody. Well, women have to carry children to bear. Why shouldn't they get full custody? Maybe because the mother's a piece of shit. I mean,
yeah.
But not even that. Maybe because the man should be involved with his child. That it's been statistically proven that a child who has a paternal influence and a maternal influence, not necessarily mother and father, but has key relationships in their lives of both a man and a woman, and they grow on to be more likely to succeed, more likely to be healthy, more likely not to kill anyone. So maybe that's why we should start at 50-50. But in reality, it's just a zero-sum game. In fact, I call it a zero-sum -1 game, because not only do men have to sacrifice everything for women in order for women to feel ahead, they take a step back and still say they have nothing. Men could hand the entire reins over to women, and women would still say they're oppressed.
Yeah, absolutely. See, like, even if women were in power, they'd be like, we'll fucking stop at nothing to fucking give back to women what men took away and all this shit. Like, it would just, I don't know. It's women, they'll never be satisfied.
No, you talked about this being something that's been going on for a long time. I made a joke that's actually based off a joke I heard as a child, and I'm going to read it on the air. And you're going to quickly see how it's sexist, but remember, when I heard it, all of the genders were flipped. It's not a very long joke, but okay. 3 women find a magic lamp on the beach. They rub the lamp, and the genie pops out. They all have rubbed the lamp. The genie gives them each 1 wish. The first woman wishes to be the smartest woman in the world. The genie claps his hands and says, "You are now the smartest woman in the world." The second woman says, I want to be 10 times smarter than the first woman. The genie claps his hand and grants her wish. The last woman wishes to be 10 times smarter than the first 2 women put together. The genie claps his hands and turns her into a man.
I knew where that was going. Oh, see, I mean, personally, I know that I don't have the drive or the capacity to be as intelligent as many ambitious and genius fucking scientists and all those kind of people. I just know that I just don't have that ability, and like, so I do what I'm passionate about. But it's like some people or some women are like, I can do anything. I can do anything a man can. I don't even care if you have to lower the standards. I can do it. Oh, I don't understand. I don't understand it. But anyways, before we start interrupting each other again, let's introduce Triggers because he hasn't been able to talk yet. How are you today?
Hey, can you actually hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right, because my microphone is just flashing this red light, like. And
mine does that too sometimes.
Run! It's a bomb! It's about to go off!
Ah! Does it sound okay, or do I sound like completely distorted or anything like that?
No, you're coming in
no,
great.
you're good.
Awesome. All right, so I'll just ignore the light then. How you doing? Glad to be back.
Lovely.
Happy International Women's Day.
Oh, thank you.
I called it with an X, so.
Yeah, I did. Just to make sure nobody got offended.
Include everyone with vaginas, without vaginas, with half vaginas, who want vaginas but don't have vaginas, who have vaginas but don't want vaginas, but want to identify those with vaginas, as well as
the inverted vagina.
That's the inverted vagina, the reversible vagina,
dude.
And those who identify purely as vaginas. So I think.
Oh my God. I am vagina. That's who I am.
Well, if you ask a feminist, I think the modern day feminist only identifies as a vagina because everything evolves around her vagina.
Exactly.
Talks about all of her works of art. It's got to involve her vagina. I don't know. It's pretty fucking weird.
Well, of course, we can't forget the gender with no name.
Wait, Voldemort?
No, the gender that has no name. There's no name for your gender.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I am non-gender. I have no gender whatsoever. Oh, if you look down there, it's a void. You can't even see. If you try to look at my genitals, you'll be lost for eternity.
So what you're saying is I can still stick my dick in your void.
You'll be sucked into non-existence and possibly be in eternal peril. I'm not sure. I don't know what happens to people when they go in there. I just know that it sounds painful.
So in other words, what you're saying is best orgasm ever. Yes.
If you've ever thought of I'm sorry. I'm just gonna drink my beer. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna finish that.
So, I was thinking about how some of the peculiar behaviors that is, the feminist, and I have a few theories that are going on, and I was wondering if I could explain one.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell us your hypothesis.
All right, so I noticed I have observed one of their peculiar behaviors is to be they're constantly talking about how how horrible it is to be living in a world where men just want to rape them, and they act as far more prudish than your average Victorian lady in that regard, but at the same time they want to go on slut walks and they can't stop talking about their vajayjays. So it's like it's like this great big paradox going on where they seem to be, oh my God, I can't believe he said I was wearing a nice dress. I felt almost right. But at the same time they'll march down the street with their, I don't know, pussy flaps, just blowing in the breeze or something. And I was thinking, okay, so why this paradox? And then I began to realize, like, when I dive into
I can actually explain this, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay. Well, I find that women are masters of emotion and masters of emotional manipulation. And I began to realize that they're serving more than one emotional need by behaving in such a manner. When they go on slut walks, they're serving that. They're serving that that most base, primitive, sexual need to be sexually desired. But because they do it with the facade of we're marching down the street against the patriarchal, rapey system, they don't have to feel like a dirty slut doing it because it's for a morally high or noble purpose, which then satisfies their, oh, I'm better than you. I'm a prim and proper lady, but also a dirty whore at the same time. It's like they're serving these complex needs simultaneously. It's sort of like when they're like, oh my God, this man, he said I look nice today. I was compliment raped or something like that. They get obsessed with expanding the definition of what rape is so that all of them can experience some kind of rape at one point or another. And I think that's also a double satisfaction of emotional need where they get the sympathy from the crowd. They're like, oh, I can't believe you're almost raped by that man who complimented the way you looked. But at the same time, it also serves that dirty, visceral need to be wanted. Like if you look at a lot of well, I mean, if you listen to a lot of feminists, you can tell that they're really sexually aroused by the idea of men wanting to rape them. Because it satisfies the ego, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm that sexually desirable. A man will risk, going to jail just for a taste of me. But then they cover that with the whole noble, I'm just fighting against the patriarchal system. I'm so noble. So yeah, that'll be my explanation. And okay, like I said, yeah, women are very complex emotionally. And
a couple of things here, and I'll just go through them real quickly because I could talk about this for hours. But you're kind of you're going in two different directions here, and I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I think there's a lot of merit of what you're saying, but what I think it starts from, first off, is the victim culture, which you actually touched into just a little bit. This need to want to feel vulnerable, this need to want to feel like a victim. It has been research. OkCupid did this big thing where they asked their female members if they have fantasies about being raped, and majority of women said yes. They do have a fantasy of being taken and being forced to give into a man's desire. So it doesn't surprise me if women are actually turned on by this. But they also want their 15 minutes. They want to be offended so they can get popular. They want to become the next Anita Sarkeesian or Brianna Wu and say, oh, people attacked me, give me millions of dollars. And that's what it really comes down to. But you're talking about this need to say, oh, he looked at me and said I was sexy, while also going on a slut walk and saying, I'm in control of my sexuality. We actually see this one other place in pornography. See, there's this great divide of supporting women in the sex industry, but also hating the sex industry at the same time. So feminists found a third option. They created feminist porn that focuses just on women, which is kind of strange because regular porn focuses on women, except gay porn, of course. Unless we're talking about lesbian porn, and that definitely focuses on women. But porn in general, straight porn, does focus on women. But in feminist minds, the difference between regular porn and feminist porn is that they celebrate women, but not men. Men are not part of the equation. Porn is perfectly acceptable thing for women to do, but the moment a man enjoys it, that is when it becomes wrong. So a woman can dress like a slut in public, but the moment a man gives her any sort of compliment or attention, it's wrong. And that's why these slut walks are so important, because they're doing everything they can to keep men out so they can just say, You know, we're empowered. We're taking control of it. We're dressing how we want because they don't want men involved at all.
It's becoming like an inverse Burker phenomenon where they're all Lady Godiva. They're going to march down the street naked, but don't you dare look or we'll pluck your eye out kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's also been this movement about trying to desexualize breasts, that, you know, we should punish men for looking at women's breasts. This way women can walk down the street topless and not feel pressured that anyone's looking at her. Well, the funny thing is most places in the United States, it's actually legal for women to walk around topless. There are no laws that prohibit women from doing this. So why don't women do it? They don't want to.
Yeah.
The funny thing you mentioned that where I live, Massachusetts, I'm not too far away from Northampton, Massachusetts, and that's ground zero for the beginnings of the feminist movement. It was Smith College. They began to realize that in the books it was, you know, illegal for women to walk around shirtless, and they said this is wrong. So they actually staged a protest to change the laws in the books of Northampton so that it was legal for women to walk shirtless. And of course, you had all these feminists walking down the street shirtless. Nothing you really want to see to begin with, because holy shit, you know. Anyway, so they marched down the street without a shirt in protest, and then the mayor capitulated and said, "Okay, we're gonna strike out the law and make it so that women can walk around shirtless in Northampton." And they celebrated. And forever afterwards, no woman walked around shirtless.
Yeah.
Not fucking one. So
yeah, dude, I swear, if my nudes were ever leaked, I would be like the biggest like advocate for that shit. I'd just be like posing everywhere like, did you know that you can be topless here? Did you know you can be topless here? Like, bitches, did you know? Did you know we're not as oppressed as you think? Oh.
Now, let me make this one quick point, and then to you, Triggers. To be fair, the police can still arrest women who are topless, just like police can arrest you for jaywalking if you're sitting in a car. But once you go to court, you can get thrown out. Police can arrest you for anything, but that's an argument I hear a lot. Okay, go, Triggers.
What was I gonna say? Oh shit! I just...
Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Oh man, was on the tip of my tongue. What the hell? Wait. Ah, god damn it. We were talking about how feminists wanted to desexualize the breasts. Yeah. I don't know what's about the feminist movement, but they've been fighting against the forces of nature since the fucking second wave, and they're not going to fucking win. It's dumb. It's retarded. Yes, breasts are used to feed babies. Sure. Like my penis is used for urinating. Yes. It's also a sexual organ.
Thank you. Oh my god. Sorry. I hate it when people say that.
Okay.
And it can be used for other things. I use it to press elevator buttons. The next time you're on an elevator, wonder if I've been there or not.
I personally use mine to lift heavy objects onto the higher shelves. But no, but the thing is like the problem with this is that the reason why breasts became sexualized is because it's a visual signal that she's a woman, she's of fertile age. So, ta-da! And the fact is, we know that men are visual creatures because that's all we needed to know. It's not like we needed to know, well, what does she have for a position? How much money does she make in a year or anything? That was not necessary since the dawn of fucking humanity. All we needed to know was, is she female? Is she of fertile age? I got visual cues to indicate as such. Go to town. That's all. So it's like, yes. And so the breast became a sexual signal. And as far as like body parts becoming multifunctional, funny thing is that look at the mouth. The mouth is a very sexual organ, but we use that to eat. All right. And the funny thing is about this is that I had read the evolution of where the jaw came from, which without the jaw, you wouldn't have all the functions that we enjoy with our mouths today. What I learned, function. Yes, I think almost a 500 million years ago. I could be wrong, off by long period of time, a couple of eons, but there was a fish in the ocean. This is long before land creatures showed up. This is where the jaw was first evolved. Now the fish did not need the jaw to eat food. All right. Because all they did was just open their mouth and just swallowed whatever the hell they were eating like a net and just went right down into their gullet. So what was the jaw for? And they realized the jaw was there. At first, it was in the males. And what they did was they used it to lock the female in place. They would grab them by wherever the neck would be and the position to hold them in place as they mated. So let's celebrate.
I bite a woman on the neck and just keep her there.
So the fact is that
I work at a doggy daycare, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. So the fact is that biting, for the purpose of necking, is far older than fucking eating. So huzzah!
There you go. All right. So before I forget, the disabled gamer donated $250 to my PayPal. Thank you so much. That was very, very sweet of you. I really appreciate it. For you, I'm gonna give myself a dick slap. Ugh! Ow! That actually hurt. That was in my nose. I hope you liked it. All right.
I'm not complaining. Well, I want to address another point that actually came up in the news very recently. Talking about the greatest cock of all time, Terry Crews, who said something that was actually true. That he went on Twitter and said that boys need a father. And, he was actually arguing with someone about this, but he's like, yes, boys need fathers in order to be healthy. And he was also criticizing women because they're trying to dictate what boys need. And he's like, you're a woman. Why should you dictate what a boy needs? How about you dictate what women need, and us boys will dictate what boys needs? So there's this back and forth, but someone decided to take offense to what he said, a lesbian couple or the LGBT, and it's like, we're a lesbian couple. Are you saying that we can't raise our son? That we can't make him into a mature adult? And of course, Terry Crews apologized and deleted the tweet. I was like with him right up until that point. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's been proven, like what I said before, that children need a maternal influence and a paternal influence. They need both men and women in their lives. It doesn't necessarily have to be a father, although a father and mother tend to be very good role models. But they need something in their lives that can act as a father and mother so they can grow up and more than likely succeed in life, more than likely do great things, and not wind up in jail or a drug user, which has been statistically proven to be true. That if you only have one parent, you're most likely going to go to jail, end up dead, or doing drugs.
I got a question for that lesbian couple. How'd they get the kid?
Gee, did they adopt it from a male and a female who had a child? Potentially, possibly, I don't know. See, I mean, like, it's totally fine if, like, gay people want to, like, have children, but, like, that doesn't undermine the fact that it's true. Like, I mean, like, in every relationship, there is a more masculine person, as far as I know. Like, I don't know.
Well, no, I agree with that, and I'll disagree with Mr. Misanthropic. Ooh, I said that right. In the chat, saying that lesbian couples can't raise a male child. I sort of agree with him, but they can, so long as they have some sort of male that is a male that can demonstrate what it means to be a male. Maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's their nanny, maybe it's just a family friend who comes by and, you know, takes the kid out to a ball game. So long as he has some male influence of, hey, that's a successful male, I want to be like him. A lesbian couple can do it. Just like a gay couple can raise a daughter, so long as they have a proper female in her life.
Well, I actually know of a few guys that actually were raised by lesbian couples, and I can say that every single one of them were fucked up.
In what way?
Mentally, emotionally. Yeah, there was something not right going on. They were lacking something rather crucial in their life. And they certainly, there was certainly some kind of masculine crisis going on in their life that went down some pretty fucked up roads.
I mean, yeah, I've heard multiple stories from men who were raised by lesbians that didn't turn out so well. And I mean, like, it really depends on the person. That's the thing. Like, if you're a lesbian who can, like, be, like, it's really about being neutral. Like, you can't be so, I don't know, like, even men who were raised by only women who aren't lesbians turn out to be sometimes a little more on the feminine side, and that's okay, but it's important to, you know, make sure that they have some kind of outside influence. It doesn't even have to be a male, like, mentor. It could be a friend, you know, like, just make sure that they at least get interaction with, you know, what, and teach them about what, you know, I don't know, what masculinity is, because so many, like, people, or SJWs, I guess, say that masculinity is a bad thing, and I really hope that people with common sense can realize that that's not legitimate, and that masculinity is something that even women can have, and it can be a good thing. Like, just saying, like.
Well, unfortunately, we see a lot of news articles. Like, there was the woman who tried to get her 6-year-old son to become a girl and kept him as a girl for several years until his father got custody of him from the courts. And within a day, he's playing with trucks again. He's being a boy.
Yeah.
There's another article I read, and this was like pro-feminist, but it's like how they're raising this boy to hate men. Like, it was an all-female house except for this one boy, and they sent him to a feminist-friendly school, and that they were proud of the fact that he rejected all things male. And that's just torture, in all honesty. That is child abuse. To deny someone an aspect of themselves and tell them that it's wrong or shameful. You know, they keep talking about teach boys not to rape. Well, here's a news flash for you. They did a study of about 100 rapists. Okay, it's not a good polling number, but they found that 88 out of that 100 had experienced rape sometime in their life. 88 rapists experienced rape when they were a child by a female in their lives, most often by their mothers. You know, we want to talk about teach boys not to rape. How about we teach women not to rape little boys so they don't grow up to become rapists?
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Men and women are responsible for men and women.
See, yeah, that's what's so fucked up, is that they don't even consider what could possibly have made these men feel that way. Like, even if it's a slightly, even if it's less than that, not rapists, but just, people who seek out, random hookups and stuff like that. Like, they obviously, I mean, they, chicks or dudes, I mean, they obviously have some kind of problem that went on in their lives, and but every single individual has their own life journey, and it's like, I don't understand how women can just label men and be like, yeah, you're a fucking piece of shit just because you have a penis, and like, but no, women can also be pieces of shit.
I think the problem is, for like the last 40 years, the reason why you find this massive spike in a lot of women acting like complete fucking trash and complete monsters. Like, the dating scene's horrific, but at the same time, we're also finding within the Black community there is this thug fucking culture that's just completely out of fucking control. And the reasons why is that there's no social control to put them back into place, like saying, hey, you're fucking up. There's like, this is the standards of behavior, and you crossed over it. Get back in your place and act like a proper human fucking being. And because for like the last 40 years, that victim culture that we've established since the 60s, said that certain groups, because of past oppression, means that they now have carte blanche to act however they want, like somehow that's going to overcompensate and somehow equalize everything, which doesn't. And so the fact is that every human being, you, me, everyone, you need social controls put in place. You need someone to sit there and say, hey, quit fucking up, or else you're going to start acting like a fucking piece of shit. Not just a piece of shit, but an entitled piece of shit who feels justified acting like a piece of shit because past. And so as soon as we can stop this, you can't criticize a person of color. You can't criticize a woman. As soon as we can say, hey, we can criticize everyone on an individual basis, and here's the parameters on how to act like a decent fucking human being. And if you don't, and if you slip up, you're going to be criticized. As soon as we're allowed to do that, no matter what your genitals are, no matter what skin tone you are, if we can't do that, we're going to have groups of people that are going to increasingly act like pieces of shit and feel justified. Amen.
Well, I remember listening to TJ Sotomayor. I don't know if he's still on. I haven't seen him in a while. But he used to talk about the Black community all the time. And, of course, everyone called him an Uncle Tom because he criticized how the Black community does things. Even his own mother would criticize him. It's like, don't talk about how our culture does things. Don't talk about how our family does things. That's no one else's business. And it's like, I kind of agreed with him that, the only way to move forward is we need to address these things. But in that same vein, because there's this, in the Black community, there's this worship of the mother. But I was thinking about Adam Ruins Everything in vein of the other things we're talking about. And I wish I could remember the player's name. He's a former NFL player, now charge of diversity or women's issues on the NFL or some shit like that. But he goes on Adam Ruins Everything, and he says that he learned how to be a male by talking to women. Now imagine if that was the reverse, and a woman says she learned how to be a woman by talking to men. There would be such an uproar of that. But the idea that women know more about how to be a man than a man does, no. And it's just so sad that, it's like we're just pumping out these cocks. And as we were saying before, the rape fantasy is that, women might say they hate toxic masculinity, but deep down inside, they want a guy who's very masculine to fuck them. And they're going to start creating these cuck men who will not be the kind of man they want. This is why male feminists don't get laid.
Well, yeah, I mean, the statistics are showing that most of the people who are watching the violent femme sub porn on the internet, 75 to 80% of them are women. Women are craving fucking masculinity because feminism has been trying to stamp it out of society in the last 2 or 3 generations. Women are craving it, and so they're overcompensating it for going the most brutal form of fucking masculinity. And the fact is that, you know, back in the day when men were gentlemen, they were refined masculine. They knew how to bring upon masculinity and masculine strength in subtle, refined forms. That art form has gone away with the subtleties of ladyship. You know, and it's a sad thing because we actually had sophisticated models of behavior. It was an art form. It was amazing how men and women were able to interact with each other so subtly, and yet it meant so much. Every slight move they made meant so much. Now we've taken it to its most crude fucking forms, because I think this gender gap the chasm is too wide, you know, and we have no way to relate to each other anymore.
Yeah.
Well, because we can't even be honest to what masculinity and femininity is anymore.
Yeah.
Fruit Loop lefty fucking cultism.
There was a funny thing that happened a few years ago. Jessica Valente, who is a reporter for some social justice warrior rag, she was always talking about how she hated to be catcalled, and there was misogyny and there was oppression. And then one day she writes an article that she hates the patriarchy for making her miss being catcalled. That's like, now that she's over the hill and no one's catcalling her, now she wants it, which means that she wanted it the whole time. She just always complained about it. But it's like, this is evidence that women say one thing, but really mean another. They want that domineering man. Not all of them, but most of them want that domineering man, but they're complaining and saying, oh, well, this is why women can't get ahead, taking away responsibility and putting it all on men, and then are surprised when men start conforming that way and they're not actually getting what they desire.
Interesting enough is that I have an interesting way of dealing with. I find that a lot of women are very insecure with making decisions, and they actually they actually appreciate the man to make the decisions because
no. I ask Andrew to make my decisions. Like I hate.
Yes, you are not alone. Most women are like
me to make your decisions.
Okay.
The thing is that most women are afraid to make decisions because there are consequences in making the wrong one. And so a lot of times I find women psychologically are at this crossroad and they see 100,000 different possible roads. And they're like, shit, I don't know which one to pick. Someone help me here. And I find that the best way to deal with this is that I would listen to what Betty here would say, would tell me what she likes and what she does not like. So she likes to talk, and I listen, and I keep in the back of my head, oh, she likes this kind of food. Oh, she doesn't like this kind of food. So when it comes, for example, she's like we should get something to eat, and then she's like, well, what would you like to eat? And I go into into my little Rolodex and I pull out the information of what she does like to eat and what she doesn't like to eat, and then I make the decision based off of what both she and I want to eat. So I'm actually taking the initiative, saying, let's eat here. And I know that I picked what she wanted me to say.
You are
so
perfect.
She wanted me to take charge, but she was whispered in my ear on a previous occasion of what she wanted me to say. So, I've learned to be the king, but I'm a puppet king. So,
oh my god! Take advice from this man.
When a woman makes a decision, it's like, oh my god, I don't know what to choose. There's so many possibilities. I can do this, I can do that, blah 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 blah. It's like, okay, honey, yes, we want to supersize the prize.
Yes, always.
Yes. So the guys who are listening out here, this is the advice I would have to give. If you love this woman and you want to stay long term with her, you're gonna find she's gonna say a lot about who she is. Listen, because down the road she's gonna want you to make decisions, and if you make decisions on both what you and her like together, then she's gonna realize, like, oh yeah, he paid attention to what I have to say. He knows me. And then there's anal after. So there you go.
Exactly. Oh my god.
I'll be right back. I gotta get such a drink.
Okay.
So do we want to bring Mr. in because he had a story he wanted to tell?
Sure. Let me get him up and her. Okay. So while I'm sending him that, I wanted to share with you a What is that noise?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's triggers in the background. I was like, wait, what?
Mute his ass.
So yeah, well, okay, see, you know the feminists that I know, Mad Cat, and I've told you about them, but there's this one person that's like mutual friends with those feminists that I have avoided adding because I know she's just cancer, and this just confirms the reasons why. So I kind of just like ventured over to her profile today, and one of her posts, and it's funny because I screen capped this at 4:20 p.m. But it says, "Hot take, white." Okay, this is gonna be very confusing. Hot take: white men do not have to control the narrative, even though they make up 91% of the writer's room. So she's automatically putting white men above everything else, and then she's saying, but we can overpower that. So the whole thing is a little weird. Someone comments and says, I don't mind a white guy taking lead if that's what's best in the situation. But boy, my biggest pet peeve with them is them taking over you or disregarding ideas before they even hear them from any brown people. So she agrees that white men can be best suited for a situation, but somehow they talk over brown people all the time. And then the original...
They should still listen to everyone else.
Yeah. So the person that originally posted, she replies to this and says, imagine being a person of color and a woman. Thank you, my love. Imagine being a person of color and a woman. It's like you're invisible. That is what we need to change. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, you made this, you have the ability to make this status. You were able to put your opinion out there and people acknowledge it. How are you invisible in any way?
Here's the reality. All of these black activists that have been causing problems in the streets and on college campuses all across the country for the last several years have been led by black dykes. What the fuck is she talking about?
Yeah,
well,
I agree. There's so many prominent feminists out there. It's like, which ones are invisible? I'm trying to hear them. Hello?
Well, if I was a black female and I was invisible, I'd go rob a bank. Which is not racist to say black people rob banks. I'm just saying if I'm invisible, robbing a bank.
There you go.
Weird. If I was invisible, the first thing I would do would be watch Modern Medusa in the shower. But okay, to each his own.
I've seen it. She washes her hair like 3 times.
That is so not true. I masturbate like 3 times. Get it right.
And do you have any video?
pseudonym for masturbating.
Maybe. Maybe.
HD video or it didn't happen.
Maybe for special patrons that might be available.
If you donate $10 million, she'll get.
No, $10 million. I'll make it public. Everyone can see that.
Note
I don't
to
even-
self, if I ever win lottery.
There you go. No, even $1 million, I'd be set. I'd be like, okay, cool.
She might give you. But I want to make it to everyone out there. Captain Marvel comes out tomorrow. Don't go.
Wait,
Yeah,
what comes out? Oh, no.
Captain Marvel.
Fuck
See,
that.
See, I've been seeing some of the fucking articles that have been written about this shit. Basically, what it boils down to, the TLDR of that shit is this movie is gonna fucking suck, and everyone is well aware of this. Throw as many fucking buzzwords out as we possibly can to defame anyone who fucking doesn't like it.
Oh, what's going to be worse than that? Because if you kind of read between the lines of the people who got a sneak preview of it, they kept saying that one of the male actors stole the show. So it's going to be a bad movie, but one of the male actors is going to do really well, so kind of make up for it. But this all stems down to Brie Larson opening her mouth and saying, I don't want white people to like my film.
Did she really?
She didn't say that specifically. What she had said is, when she was talking about the movie A Wrinkle in Time, which was horrible, by the way. I read the books. It was
Oh, my mom.
See, I read the book of that. That book was good.
The book
My
was
mom
good.
hated
The movie was bad. But what Brie Larson said at a podium was, someone tells her that they didn't like A Wrinkle in Time, and she's like, well, I don't care what a 40-year-old white male thinks about it. The movie wasn't made for you. And then she also stated that she wanted to invite only minority reporters to the screening of her film.
Wow, what
Why?
Stunning, so brave.
Stunning
Sitting on
and
white
brave.
men. Oh my
Opposite
God, so risky.
segregation is now
So-
equality.
So
Good job.
stunning and brave. The
We're equal.
I don't understand.
It seems like such a retarded way to do business, to shit on one of the largest demographics. Like,
all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
white men only take up how much of the fucking population?
I mean, it doesn't even matter anymore. Like, I really don't understand why women are so hung up over that shit, or even like some gay and straight men who are so cucked that they can't even see how retarded social justice is. Like,
See, that is just men and jumping on the social justice and feminist bandwagon and hoping that that a woman will finally touch their tiny fucking pecker.
right? See, oh, Mad Cat, I don't think I told you about this. Okay, hang on. I posted it on Twitter the other day, but this guy, like, I honestly don't understand why some dudes are so like so beta and like gay. I don't like, in the worst way. Like, I love gay men.
Steve
If-
Shives?
No, this guy, okay. So this guy, I added him on Facebook because he likes snakes. And I follow a few snake related pages, obviously, on Facebook because I have a snake and I like snakes and I'm on a Medusa.
Are you talking about literal snakes?
Yes.
Well, then in that
No,
in that case, I recommend Alice Cooper.
well, yes. I'm pretty sure I like him on Facebook. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure this person was like either an admin or a guy who liked a lot of pages that I like. So I added him because he likes snakes. And the other day, I just happened to come upon this status that he made. And it says, women gotta be careful hooking up with random white boys. You could do something worse than get an STD. You could sleep with a Trump supporter. So yeah, getting AIDS isn't as bad as sleeping with a Trump supporter, apparently.
Goddamn, I really wish I had my Trump bobblehead right now.
Oh my god. Where is it?
It's out in the room I used to record in that is currently under redo.
You gotta be prepared.
Make AIDS great again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, so most of the chicks that were commenting on this were like, ew, why would you do that? And I commented, I was like, oh no, please save me. I'm doing that right now because my fiance and I are both supporters of Trump, not necessarily like, I'm like neutral. I'm just like, he's our president. I'm not gonna hate him, so whatever.
You gotta grab him by the pussy. We're gonna build a wall. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be giant. It's gonna be huge. You grab him by the pussy. That's all you do. It's supposed to be grab. That's why they call it a snatch. You know, I know everybody knows it. All these other fucking faggots, a total fucking disaster. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, so I can laugh at him. I can appreciate him. It's really neutral for me. But I was like, please save me because I'm sleeping with a Trump supporter right now. And he said, oh, I can't imagine knowingly sleeping with someone like that. Yikes, dude. And I was just like, I'm sorry you feel that way. It's really nice. I've never had an orgasm until I met him, which is true. I was like, I support our president too.
You know, that's going to be on Andrew's gravestone. I was the first to give her an orgasm.
Shit,
that would actually be pretty legit.
Andrew,
yeah, so
Andrew, if you can hear this, which I sincerely doubt you can because Medusa's wearing headphones right now, but if you rewatch this, make sure you have that on your headstone.
Yes, please. I will mention it to him. I'll make sure he puts it in his will.
Fuck Wills, do it while he's alive. Put it in his fucking Facebook, Twitter, all that shit. Put it in
I will.
bio.
There we go. No, yeah, that's the legit thing to be proud of. You know, like shit, nobody ever tried before he did.
You know, I find amazing. What I find uncanny is that men who aren't ideologically ashamed of their balls know how to use them. It's weird. Isn't that
dude, right? Yeah, people who aren't like super against like straight males actually appreciate like what they have to give.
and they're actually capable of using it because one of the girls one girl I've been with, she was like a hardcore leftist, and she'd only been with hardcore leftists.
Oh no!
And none of them know what the fuck they're doing or how to do anything.
Well, leftists don't do anything. That's why they run the countries at the ground.
I can explain that. It's because they only teach abstinence in leftist schools.
No, see, I watched the Steven Crowder I'm pro-life, changed my mind, the most recent thing. Yeah, and it's like, I'm sorry, what remind me what you just said?
I said I saw that too.
No, before that.
That they only teach abstinence in leftist schools?
Yes, so teaching abstinence versus teaching safe sex. Why not both? Like, come on.
For the love of Odin, just wear a rubber, or at least just work on your pullout game. It's simple. Just jerk off until you're about to, and then just figure out. Then it's just trial and error at that point. Until you no longer have to wipe off stains off the wall.
See, no, here's the thing. Even if you think you're going to be abstinent, you should be prepared. You should have condoms. Because the first time I had sex, I did it with saran wrap.
Hey, saran wrap has like an 80%. It's like 80%. See, I remember it was like I was in fucking, what was it, like 7th, 8th grade? 8th grade at the most, like probably like 6th or 7th. And my mom just walks up to me and my brother while we're playing like video games or whatever, just hands each of us a box of condoms and just walks away. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh my god!
We thought they were water balloons.
You know what's funny?
I'll tell you, the first time I had sex, I didn't use a condom either. I used a fruit roll-up.
That sounds delicious. Give me some of that. Oh my god.
You definitely like cleaning me up afterwards. I'll just say that.
Oh my god.
Well,
Okay,
no, I
but
agree with you, but you asked the reason why not both. Well, I'll tell you why not both. It's because it's funny that liberals are a lot like this. They're both conservative and liberal at the same time, the ultra liberal, because they believe it's a parent's responsibility to teach children about sex. They don't want the school to do it, yet they then want to teach them about, gay sex and all of that. But they don't, if they're afraid that if you teach a teenager about sex, they'll go out and have sex. So they want to scare them into not having sex. Well, if you tell people they can't do something, guess what they're going to do? The thing you told them not to do.
Exactly.
well, here's the thing.
They're gonna do exactly.
Yeah.
That's what like that's what young people do. What do you not want them to do? Exactly what they're about to do.
Or you do what I did and you listen to the people and you're like, oh shit, I better not have sex. And then once you do have sex, you're like, oh, this actually isn't that bad at all. And then you have a ton of sex. Which
also,
may
yes,
not have been healthy. But I feel like there could be an easy or a balance where you teach them, hey, it's a good idea to wait, but here's the tools for you to be prepared.
Yeah, see,
that's how I was there.
Yeah, see, it's like the way I was always taught, it's one, I learned pretty much everything I learned from watching porn, but like the little bit of the talk that I had, it was like, yeah, it's normal, it's natural, it's a part of nature, but be safe about it. That's literally the end of it. That's the beginning and end. That's all you need. It's just, yes, this happens. This is natural. It's part of life, but be fucking smart about it.
See,
well, yeah,
wear rubber, etc.
They're going about sex education the wrong way. If you don't want kids to have sex, here's what you do. You go to the women, to the girls, the teenage girls, and you say, sex is the most amazing thing ever. But if you get pregnant, it's going to wreck your body. You're going to get stretch marks. Your tits are going to sag.
It's gonna blow out the pussy. Not necessarily true, but
never again. I mean, you tell them the truth, but you add a little spin to it. So they want to have sex, but they want to make sure the guy is protected. They don't want to get pregnant. Mm-hmm. And that actually would solve the abortion problem as well.
Wow, we just solved a bunch of the fucking U.S.'s problems.
Honestly, okay.
Trump,
I got on birth control.
Trump, on the off chance you ever watch this, boom, make us like in charge of whatever sex education in schools. Boom, we've got it all figured out.
There we go. Thank you.
On how to change your mind. She really pissed me off because she's like, well, I could take birth controls, but that's just like hormones into my body and that just does stuff. But that pissed me off because men, we have to wear condoms. And for me, I have to get the XL kind where that fabric is so thick, the latex is so thick, I can't feel anything when I shove it into a woman. It's all her pleasure. And you're complaining that you have to use something for hormones? I'm not getting any pleasure fucking you.
See, okay, that's what bothers me as well. Have you tried all of the contraceptive options? Have you tried Depo? Have you tried the IUD? Have you tried the pills? Have you tried everything? Or have you just tried one thing and then being like, oh, I'm moody, so I don't want to do this? Like,
I had something shoved into my cervix so that I wouldn't be able to have periods or children.
Well,
I did that shit.
Well, two things. One, nice Who shirt, Medusa, and also if you take the condoms that are ribbed, they're quote ribbed for her pleasure, and turn them inside out, they're now ribbed for your pleasure.
They don't make those large enough. I've looked.
Oh, fuck
No,
condoms, though. The bitch could be on birth control.
I would show it right now, but I respect Mr. and YouTube ban me.
Oh my god.
Well,
Wait, your penis or the condom?
Well, you see, I wouldn't know. I just buy like the boxes. I just buy a box of Magnums and keep it in my glove box, so that way it's like when I'm driving the chick home from a date, I'm just like, hey, can you check in the glove box and find me whatever? And then she just sees the box and she's like, oh my god, this guy's hung like a horse. And then I just go home and fuck her raw.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
See? That's using the noodle. That's using the noodle.
There we go. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'll be here all night. Remember, 2 drink minimum, tip your bartender.
I've already had like wait. 1, 2, 3.
See, I don't know. I'm actually like super blitzed right now. I've been drinking shots of vodka since like I've been drinking beer and taking shots since like 3 in the afternoon. So I
got home at like
right now.
5. I got home at like 5, and I've been drinking since then. So
I just read your sign. That is an awesome sign. Kumite closed due to AIDS.
Yes.
Wait, that's what it said?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, it's kind of a long story from back when I went to Knoxville for the Warski Tonka fight.
Wait, Knoxville, Tennessee?
Is there another one?
There's one in Pennsylvania. You don't want to go to that one.
But yeah,
I don't want to go to one in Tennessee.
I went there for the Warski Tonka fight, and I made that for the fight where Tonka no-showed. And so, like, at the after party, so when we went to the bars to party, I got a sign by everyone there. It was, like, by Dick Masterson, CRP, Sofane, Fat Pat, T-Tac, and Paladin, some don't make a bunch of people. I can't really read the signatures from right up here, from where I'm at right now, but yeah. Buying a frame has been on my to-do list since it happened, but...
Well, I thought it was a reference to blood sports, so...
It is a reference to blood sports from the Kumite, and since Tonka sent in some...
What is Kumite?
Kumite, it was from Internet Blood Sports. When Tonga Saw had a stream where he would just have people. Basically, Internet Blood Sports is where people would come on and yell at each other for about an hour, and then everyone turned into a bunch of fucking
Internet
faggots.
Blood Sports to me sounds like the BMX Pain Challenge. Is that what it's called?
Oh, the BME Pain
BME, yes.
Yeah, BME Pain
BMX.
Take me later.
Riding bikes. Oh god. Yeah,
which, by the way, I do want to bring Internet Blood Sports back, but it's not going to be the gay version of it. Basically, there'll be people who yell at each other, but instead of each person who's yelling at each other deciding who won, it will be the chat who won. And if it's a draw, they play a fighting game of their choice to determine the winner.
I would literally fight people in actual reality. Like, okay. If anybody wants me to yell at someone, that's a different story. I can yell at people if I have something to like complain about, but I will actually fight people.
Well, you see, that was supposed to happen.
I will fight you, Modern Medusa, because I figure it's the only way I'll fill up your kits.
Yes, we will have, but you have to dress as Mad Kathy, or else it'll be rape.
Good enough. Hey, it's current year. But anyway, yeah, that was supposed to happen, the actual fighting each other IRL, but then Tonka no-showed, and
that's gay!
Yeah. And the closed due to AIDS is because he gave someone else he sent in someone else's blood work when they were supposed to test for like Hep B, C, and AIDS. So
what? Wait. What?
It's a long story.
Wait, whose blood got tested for what?
See, with an amateur event, with like when amateur fighters fight in an octagon, like a legitimate promotion, they have to they have to turn in blood work to make sure that like they don't have like hepatitis or HIV or whatever.
Yeah.
And Tonka sent it, and according to the promotion, Tonka sent in someone else's blood work. So, ergo, the Kumite closed due to AIDS meme was born. Which I was the one who came. I was the one who came up with that, and for like a week I was. And for like a week, I was I was Ethan Ralph's pinned tweet. So
that's what really?
And for like a week, I was and for a while, I was on Andy Worski's meme roll, me with my son.
Andy has been saying that he's gonna bring me on his show for like 2 years, and he still hasn't.
I can't even. I can't even get Andy Worski to acknowledge my existence, and I got drunk with that dude. So,
well, here's the part about Andy Worski is I've actually been on his show.
Yeah,
he's been on my show, and he still has no idea who I am.
Yeah, he knows who I am, but he still hasn't had me on. But he's had you on, but he doesn't know who you are. So
I'm in your meme roll, Worski. You came up to me in the bar while I was outside smoking a cigarette, and you said. He said, hey, bro, let me get a picture with you. And I hugged that dude 3 times in Knoxville.
Oh
okay,
my God.
You can tell that story better. Here's how you tell it. It's like, I was outside having a cigarette, and Andy Worski came up to me. It's like, dude, I want to suck your dick.
See, that would be me.
And he did. Andy Worski sucked my dick.
I disavow Andy Worski did not suck my dick.
I wouldn't suck my dick. Shit. Wait, Knoxville. What was that for? Okay. It was for the actual fight.
Yeah, for the actual fight. I have pictures on my.
I wish shit like that would happen in North Carolina.
Medusa. I live in South Carolina, and I took a weekend off. Hey. Actually,
dude, what an asshole! He didn't even show up.
I took a weekend off work, drove like 3.5, 4 hours from Knoxville.
Yeah, see, and I always thought that Worski was the bad one in this situation, but Tonka was actually the guy that bitched out. No offense to either of them, but I literally had no idea what went on.
No, fuck Tonka. He banned me from his chat on my 5 separate YouTube accounts.
What?
He banned me on 5 accounts. Fuck him.
He banned you? Why?
Why? Partly because I talked shit about him not showing up. Yeah.
No, but I love everybody, but like I had no idea what happened.
Yeah. See, you should have come. It was a good time. Everyone was there.
Man, see, once I get my van, anybody who hears about a van available in North Carolina, let me know, because I'm trying to get my dream van and my voice is getting really raspy. I sound like a really old woman, but it's okay.
Is this a party van? Is it a party van? Because I'll come and do parties with you. I'll sit there and drink booze and do cocaine off your tits with you.
It's called the Great Van. Come,
labia.
Well,
come visit me in my great van. I have candy for reasonable prices. It's not free though.
But anyway,
hey kid, you want some candy? It'll cost you $5.
I gave you Snickers for $5. Paydays is $6.
Hey, around spring break, I'm probably gonna head up. I'm gonna head up to your neck of the woods. I'll come chill in your van with you. You know, yes! Like I'll do coke off your tits or whatever. But
yes,
we'll do on spring break.
You just have to provide the coke because I don't have any of that.
Well, off your tits, mostly like the salt lick drink off your tits.
Just snort hot sauce off of my tits. Then I'll be impressed.
Think for a second I won't do that.
Bro!
Medusa, to put my mouth on your tits.
No, Medusa, you saw the video where I was at my Christmas party at my day job, and I was at my boss's house, and I was at my boss's house, and I got naked, I stripped naked and dove into his pool. You've seen that video. Think for a second I won't do that.
I was showing you times I was at BDSM parties, because I was usually the first one naked, and we invented this thing called Food Zombie, where there was like 6 girls in a swimming pool jumping up and down, creating a wave, and I was the participant in that. It was the most amazing moment of my life. Just 12 tits going up and down in the pool.
See, I want to be part of that, except in the ocean, because I live near the ocean. We really need to get a beach con going on, an East Coast beach con, because like everything's over on the West Coast. We need an East Coast.
Hold on. I just got back from spending the entire month of February on the West Coast in California for a month for work. Fuck California.
Fuck California.
East Coast, Beast Coast. East Coast is the best.
Yes. For you there, mister. Did you use the app to see where people are shitting?
I did not. I was stuck in the middle of the desert doing gay shit.
I thought that was only for San Francisco.
I figure it's all of California by this point.
It basically is. But yeah, by the way, it snowed while I was in the Mojave fucking desert. I was in a snowball fight in the Mojave desert. So I'm convinced California isn't real.
What?
Yeah, it's called the rain shadow effect.
No, we are okay. We're doing a 2020 calendar, and we are definitely gonna be trying to do a 2020 meetup for sure, because the 2017 meetup. But I feel like
I think if we actually try to do a good meetup,
let's go for Myrtle Beach. Let's go for Myrtle Beach. That
is literally 3 hours from where I live.
It's like a half hour from me.
Hey, Medusa, hours for me.
Medusa, virtual high five.
Yay! No, Mad Cat, I want you to come. I want you to come before anybody else. I want you to come before anyone else, because.
Well, that makes sense because I come after everybody else.
Exactly. But no, we should really try to do a 2020 meetup with me and you, and then whoever else can actually join, because we'll see. Why are you looking at me like that?
So you don't want me to come first?
Oh, yes. Okay, fine. Yeah, you'll be the first to come. Can I have some illegal drugs?
Illegal drugs and Grand Theft Auto. In Grand Theft Auto. Certainly not in real life. We are all good. We are all good guys here. Google, do not censor us.
We good guys.
Hey, Medusa, check out my new toy.
Is that new from what you already had?
I have a prescription.
Oh, I guess I did show it to you before. Never mind. I have a vape, people.
I think
it's
I've seen that one.
Dildo.
Let me see that. What kind is it? Is it a smoke or is it a...
We get it, you vape.
What kind is it? Is it a smoke?
While they're talking about vapes, everyone remember to send dick pics to Modern Medusa at twitter.com/Vanessa with cheese.
Yeah.
Or send them to me and I'll send them to Medusa.
And speaking of that, let me turn off my camera.
Yeah, send me all the dick pics.
Zipper go down.
I'll rate your dick 1 to 10 or 11 if I really like it.
and I'll rate it
for real though.
For 11 if I really hate it.
No, but okay. Like I don't understand women who don't appreciate random dick pics, because whether it be ugly or weird or sexy or
tell that to every bitch on Tinder who has the phrase "dick pics get you blocked" in her Tinder bio. See, it's like, bitch, this is Tinder. You know what you signed up for when you created a Tinder account.
More like dick pics get you fucked.
Well, I had a friend who's like, hey, would you like to see my tits? And I'm like, oh, sure. So she sent me a picture of her tits. I'm like, would you like to see a picture of my penis? And she's like, no, I really don't want to do that. And it's like, okay, well, I did get tits for nothing, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like it's okay for me to see your tits, but it's not okay for you to see my dick.
Oh, she's just like, no, I was just horny and I wanted to show off. That's okay. But no, I am like that sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I want to send you a titty pic, and I don't really expect anything back. If you send something back, it may or may not be appreciated. That's just how it is sometimes. But I'm still polite about it. I'm just like, hey, nice penis.
And you are officially one of the few women who are not absolutely god-awful people who do not deserve legal rights.
Thank you.
Stop beating your bush. If you want me to send you a picture of my dick, I will.
I don't think I've seen it yet.
See, the reason why my camera is off right now is because I'm currently scrolling through my camera roll trying to find the right dick pic to send.
Ooh. Okay, I'm excited now.
There's a good it's a good thing I'm fucking blitzed right now.
No,
okay. Remember this in the morning.
No, I am so picky when it comes to news. I have to edit and like make sure. Well, actually, when it comes to my boobs, I don't really have to edit that much because it's just like, I personally think that my boobs are perfect. I'm not wearing a bra right now, but I honestly think that
I noticed. Is it cold? Are you cold?
No. See, I'm actually quite warm, so they're not. You can't really tell that I'm not wearing a bra. But
trust me, people who know what to look for can tell.
But yeah, I don't.
But with your vagina, you have to use special filters, right?
No, not my vagina, my ass. Because
what are you talking about? Never mind.
Okay, I mean, like, I like my ass at certain angles, but like, I don't know, like.
You know, if Andrew wasn't in my room at the time, I would have so smacked your ass.
Well, okay, my ass looks good at certain angles, but then
you have an ass that I would definitely smack the shit out of.
I would appreciate that. Anyone who approaches me, you have consent to smack my ass.
Okay, everyone, somebody clip that. Clip that right now. Somebody clip that. That will be
all of you have consent to grab, squeeze, smack. Don't put a finger in there because that's a little too far. But I gotta know who it is first before you go that far.
Record screen, record audio. Okay.
No. Do you remember? Okay, have you guys seen the video of the chick who like would go around and like let people fondle her boobs and her vagina?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that would be me. Except like over the clothes, you know, I'd be like, yeah, bro, fucking touch my tit. I don't care.
Yeah, the difference is you wouldn't make it about rape culture or the patriarchy.
Exactly.
You tell it what it is. I want people to fondle me.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, my butt. It got touched. Oh shit. I'd be super happy about that. Legit. Man, but seriously, okay, if you, Mr. Misanthropic, hear about things that are going on that are like slightly kind of close to us, please let me know. Because, like, I've been trying, I don't know. I've been thinking about going to different cons, but I don't know if I want to save up to go to VidCon. I don't know if I want to save up to go to something else.
Fuck VidCon. If I had known about this, I would have told you, fucking come to Knoxville. It's like for my hotel room, I paid like $140 for 3 nights. So
shit.
It was actually surprisingly decent. It was a surprisingly decent motel for that amount of money.
You said $140 for how much?
It was like $148 for like Friday. It was like, I think it was like 2 days, 3 nights.
Was it like a night's in or something?
It was like a day's in or something, which was it was surprisingly nice.
That's
and I stayed a night's in Arizona because I wanted to go to Comic-Con, but I didn't want to have to drive back and forth. And I stayed at a night's inn, and it was like really, really cheap, but it was actually a really nice room. I was really surprised.
See, okay, I've been trying to figure out whether if I want to go to a con this year during the summer, because VidCon and Anthrocon are going on this year during July.
What the fuck is Anthrocon?
Anthrocon is a furry con, and I was gonna go.
And degenerates like you belong on a cross.
No, I'm not a furry because.
Okay, then.
I don't have a persona or anything.
Point of clarification. When you say cross, do you mean a St. Andrew's cross?
Cross what?
He said you people belong on a cross. I'm asking, do you mean a St. Andrew's cross?
David's cross.
No, St. Andrew's cross is a special type of cross used in BDSM. So
when I say cross, when I say cross, I mean any type of cross.
Okay. Well, I mean, sure. Yes. Where was I going? Hang on.
Something about Anthrocon.
Yeah, I was gonna try to go to Anthrocon, which is a furry con, because I wanted to meet a couple people that do YouTube there, and it's in Pittsburgh, which is a lot less far than California, so it would cost less. But the person I was gonna try to go with said that it would cost $275 for the hotel, and I was like, "What?" And he said per person.
Okay,
like, what do you mean?
See that's when you just go to hotels.com. Sponsor us, sponsor Medusa, hotels.com.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, if I were to do something,
I literally just Googled hotels in Knoxville and just started clicking through sites until I found the cheapest place that would not give me AIDS.
Yeah.
But is that my dog?
It might be.
No, it's not mine.
Does anyone else have a doggo?
Well, I think Triggers is gone, so how about you just mute him?
He is? Oh, okay.
If not, he hasn't said anything for a long time, and now I feel like an asshole. He hasn't.
It's okay.
Triggers, are you here? Blink 4 times.
Mute yourself.
Bastard! That is my joke.
Yeah, I was trying to go there, and apparently, if I want to go, I'm going to have to pay $275 for a hotel, and I don't want to do that because for me, cheap is like at least $70 a night, which Nah, like I don't want to pay more than that. Like personally,
that's about what I paid for my hotel.
Right. So like, if I were to do that, I like screw Anthrocon. Screw that. If I were to go to something this year, it would be either VidCon or something else that's less.
Fuck it, honestly, for less of that gay yuppie shit, I would just honestly, if I was able to, I'd probably just like set up a fucking like, hey, we'll just do a meetup for just random people who all know each other, talk to each other and shit. We'll just all meet up at like Myrtle Beach or some shit.
Would you come to a meetup in Myrtle Beach? Because I would love to do that.
Well, yeah, I live like 3 hours away from there. I used to go there every year. So.
I would absolutely love to do that. So let's definitely plan for that.
I am going to Phoenix Comic-Con this year, but I'm not doing it for any political reason. I do it so I can meet authors and try to network as an author. So,
hey, Mad Cat, if you meet Razor Fist, give him a high five for
me. I don't know about Razor Fist. I remember some controversy recently about him. I don't remember specifically what it was.
I fucking love Razor Fist. He was the first channel I ever subbed to. So
no, he was definitely one of the first channels that I subscribed to when I was first looking at anti-theist stuff, I think. But
he's not really an anti-theist. He's more of an apatheist or something. He's more of an apatheist, but
I'm trying to remember what controversy he's been in recently. Was it with
probably him like saying some crazy shit that pissed off some crazy leftist.
Well, no.
He
was in some controversy with a conservative person, as far as
with Ben Shapiro with Michael Jackson.
No, I can't remember what it was. I feel like it has something to do with what the fuck is his name? Daniel. What?
Who? Daniel LaRusso?
Who is that?
No. Fucking. What the fuck is his name? Oh my god. What is his name?
Okay, you figured that out. I want to continue talking about him.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna try to figure out this shit.
One thing that I'm hoping to do this year that I did last year is speak to Will Wheaton's wife, because I like knowing that I'm like one person away from that cock.
Will Wheaton's wife? What?
Yeah, I met his wife.
Hold on, I do want to say one of my proudest screenshots. I sent this to you, Medusa. My first Twitter account before I got banned was I got blocked by Will Wheaton, and it was great. It's one of my proudest screenshots. I honestly thought about printing it out and framing it. Is Triggers back? Is Triggers back because his little thing...
Sorry about my dog barking his balls off. Someone came to the door.
No, you're fine. We weren't sure who it was.
I got banned by Shoe on Head.
Really?
I made a joke.
Really?
I made a joke towards her and Armored Skeptic.
And, God!
Didn't like it.
What kind of joke? Please tell me.
Fucking June and Fat Greg. I cannot stand either.
Fat Greg.
I
cannot take credit for that. I first heard that from Devin Tracy, which coincidentally I'm wearing his shirt right now.
Repsion. That's who I was trying to figure out.
Repsion?
Repsion?
Does he have some controversy with Razor Fist, or am I completely off?
Who's Repsion?
Mr. Repsion.
Mr. Repsion! Or I don't know.
He's the one that actually introduced me to the internet. He's the one that got my channel
Dude,
viral.
I love Mr. Ripstone. He's so beautiful.
I would suck his dick.
I would. Me too.
We should do it together.
I've heard I'm pretty sure I've heard the name Repsion before. I don't think I'm not aware of what he does.
He's the best. Oh my god, he's like, okay, I discovered him at the same time as Onision, but he is so much better than Onision. Fuck.
Yeah,
like, okay, he makes videos about Onision being a piece of shit now, so
yeah, I started watching him around the time I first became an atheist.
Oh my god. Okay, me too. I have to pee so bad. I will be right back. Like, I have a pain growing in my side, and I have to be right back. Okay, 1 second.
You realize you could have saved that 5 seconds and been peeing already?
I will pee right now.
I've got to grab a beer, so I'll be right back.
Currently peeing. Just kidding.
Okay, I guess it's time for Triggers to actually talk. Say something.
Hello there.
Oh, why did Shoe on Head block you? What did you specifically say?
It was basically on Twitter, and you know what? All I remember was it was a stupid joke. It had something to do with Armored Skeptic talking about how he and Shoe on Head were going to plan for a kid. And I said something to the effect of that if I don't know if he needed help, in order to get to make a kid happen, because I made a comment about that hopefully his performance wasn't as good as his video making or something like that. So they both blocked me for that. So I'm like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Shoe on Head, and I know that's a sin to say, but I mean, does anyone remember the video they made where they were basically anti-men's rights?
Well, the thing about Armored Skeptic is it's like, he every single one of his videos, like he goes after flat Earth conspiracies and all this other really fluff stuff. He's not very controversial, and if he goes, he'll go to a safe, edgy zone, which is he'll be a little edgy that will not be a risk to offending too many people. You know what I mean? And Shoe on Head, she created her career making fun of other people. But then when it turned around, it happened to her, she had to block me. And I was just like, well, what a bitch, what a pussy. I find them way too vanilla. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, really I can see that. I mean, she basically got a stardom because she's a female. And a lot of females do. And even Modern Medusa got a lot of popularity mainly because she's a female. Don't get me wrong. She has earned, her place. And I think she should be a lot bigger. But being a woman on YouTube, people are going to watch you. It's just that I don't think Shoe on Head ever really took that anywhere.
It was. I just thought it was lame. I thought it was just a dumb fucking joke. And the fact is that they were able to dish it out and they couldn't take it. And I'm like, oh god, this is so fucking lame. I spent most of my Twitter career before I got permanently suspended forever. That I would just, make fun of so many social justice warriors and leftist personalities. I got blocked left and right by so many high profile people. I would just make a comment like, oh, they blocked me. But, I thought that they would, just take it on chin a little bit better than that, because I admire people who are able to give me shit and make me laugh. Because I'll say kudos to you. I never block anyone. So
it is actually very difficult for me to block anyone, honestly. I've only blocked one person on my social media in probably a year. And the only reason why I blocked that person, I was complaining about something my mother did, and someone's like, it's none of your business what your mother does. And I'm like, who the fuck are you to tell me what my business is or not when it comes to my own family? I'm like, black.
Yeah, but the only time that I got a little freaked out with interacting with people on social media is that I had a couple of fans that got a little bit too freaky. And I just kind of ignored them. I didn't even outright block them. I just stopped responding to them. Like,
I've had to do that a few times.
Because if you told me to stop sending you penis pics, I would have.
Yeah. But no, but you know, the shoe I had and whatnot. It was just, like I said, it was just a fucking joke, and they obviously would joke to other people, and they just couldn't take it, so they blocked me. And they're fucking pussies. And hey, shoe on head, Boxy did it better. All right, so fuck you,
Boxy.
Don't worry, shoe on head wouldn't watch our channel. So say where the hell you want.
No, yeah, I've followed her and like, you know, responded to a shit ton of her stuff and like asked her like, hey, you know, you want to be involved in some shit? And she just outright like ignores anything that I'm involved in, even if it's like associated with people that she's associated with. But yeah, I don't really care. I mean, she's hot. I fuck her, but
well, yeah. I mean,
that's why you put a gag in the mouth first.
Yes, exactly.
Don't get me wrong. I would definitely smash shoe on head, but that doesn't mean that I either like her or think she's a good person. I think, but I can't stand either her or Fat Greg. So
yeah, I might be the only person that wouldn't do.
I don't even know if I'm subscribed to him.
I really don't like her so much, and if I really hate someone or I just don't respect them, I can't be attracted to them no matter how hot they are.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't respect her at all. She's just like
bony for me. She's too bony for me.
She's just like, yeah, she's just like Fat Greg. She's just a fucking fence rider who just fucking chases that almighty YouTube dollar.
Oh yeah,
it's like
I like some of her skits, but I mean, she is also very like, I don't know, like she
let the popularity get to her head a bit. I think that's what
that's
well, she's also very left leaning as far as I've seen.
Yeah, but it's like one thing I will say is that she openly admits that she's a giant leftist, but also. But it's like, with her and fucking Fat Greg Armored Sheckler, they both have the most undeserved ego I have ever seen in my life, and with fucking Greg, that dude will not take a stand on anything. He will just sit there and fucking fence ride like a little bitch on something like a fucking kidnapping and the torture of that kid that was done on Facebook Live.
Oh, I remember.
What, the autistic kid?
He refused to take a side on that shit, and I'm just like,
wow.
Are you fucking serious?
Why would you even say that?
And it's like the few times he does actually take a side on shit, everything he says is provably, demonstrably wrong. Like, as in, a 10-second Google search will prove this guy is a fucking idiot who has no idea what he's talking about.
Well, I haven't watched any of his videos for like a year, because every single time he releases a video, it's something so banal and safe.
It's literally just.
I don't think I'm subscribed to him because.
Yeah, it's literally just the internet atheist proves the Earth talks about how Earth is.
It's the same reason I unsubscribed from Onision. Like.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't watch Logic.
It's like, let me put it into perspective. I'm still a hate watcher of Steve Shives just to mock him.
Yeah,
I can't even be fucked awake.
Tempted to see his Star Trek stuff.
I can't even be fucked to waste my time. I'm with fucking with fucking shoe on head or fucking armored septic.
Armored septic. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's how I feel about a lot of the bigger name people in this movement. It's just like
TJ Kirk.
Oh, I fucking hate that guy. I mean, I think I hated him before it was cool because I used to really like him. But then he talked about on a show where he was like, oh, yeah, because he talks about his own experience of being sexually harassed. Like a girl would walk up to him and put her hands down his pants and grab his ass and how uncomfortable he felt about that. But then on the Drunken Podcast, he's talking about how a guy is complaining about a girl sexually harassing him. He's like, fuck, dude, that guy must be gay or something. I'm like, you fucking asshole. You know exactly what that's like, and you're criticizing a man who's complaining about a woman sexually harassing him? Lost all respect right then and there.
See, that has always reminded me of when I was 16, dating a 24-year-old. Don't judge me. I was very confused.
But we can't blame you on that one.
But he told me that he went to a bar. He was completely he was totally emotionally like wrecked over this. He was like, I've been really like nervous about telling you this, but I went to this bar. I was drinking, and this other girl, this random chick came up to me and was like, hey, you know, like just basically just hitting on him. And she just went up and grabbed him by the dick. And, you know, he admitted this to me, and he was like super like ashamed about it. And I was like, that's totally fine. You know, you were like legitimate. You were actually assaulted. Like, you should probably have been like, you probably should have just punched her in the face. But, you know, you don't have to be worried about that at all, because like I could completely understand, because I've had guys who have taken advantage of me, not in such a direct way, but women can get away with more of that because they're so it's sexy for a woman to do that, to take charge. So, but because he was in a relationship, he declined, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, you know, I have a girlfriend. And she's just like, whatever, and just, you know, moves on. And it's like, you know, I feel bad for guys, especially even by themselves, you know, like it's very traumatic, especially like when you know that people are not going to believe you and understand what you went through.
I can actually relate to that, because when I was in the BDSM world for about 4 years, I actually noticed this. Now, when I first got in, I really didn't know how to socialize. I was nearly 30. And this was the first time I ever socialized in my life. So there were a lot of things I didn't really understand at first. And that's a long story of how I ever became 30 and not know how to socialize. So I made a lot of mistakes. Like I would touch people inappropriately. Like, not like I went up and grabbed their breast. That wasn't that bad. But, you know, I just touched someone on the shoulder. And in that world, it's really important that you ask permission to touch someone. But I would notice that girls would come up to me and like touch me on my stomach or touch me on my sides. And it's like, why is it okay for a woman to do that? But it was wrong for me to touch a girl on the shoulder. And what I realized is it wasn't necessarily right for them to do so. I could have complained and they could have gotten in trouble, but then it would have sent the message to all of the women, leave me alone. And then certainly I don't want that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Either I could complain and lose the attention, or say nothing and still get treated unequally.
My personal experiences. I'm 6'6" and 280 pounds. And I have
a huge cock.
Damn, you're a huge puppet.
Well, okay. Here's the thing: is that I know that there's a certain percentage of the female population, as well as gay guys, they have a fetish for tall men. They have a height fetish. The way that there are some guys out there, big breasts. Girls like guys tall. They definitely like my hands. I can, grip basically a basketball.
I love hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, a lot of women love hands, and they always compliment me on that. But I can always tell when a girl loves my height. They would usually approach me, and they'll always mention it and whatnot. But I've literally had I was with my wife, and I literally had like a drunk girl run up screaming, and then like just tackle hug me because she was just amazed at how tall I was. And for some reason, when girls get drunk, they get really bold when it comes to my height and my features. And they'll just come right out and ask. They'll ask my wife, does he have a big dick?
Oh my God.
Right in front of me, like I'm just standing like in the third person. And I bet you have a really big dick. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, could you imagine like going up to a girl with big knockers, like, wow, look at what cup is this? Oh, I bet you got big nipples. I bet they must stand like an inch out there.
Tightest pussy.
Holy shit, Medusa! I bet you got like some. I would guess like 36 C's at the minimum.
But
if not,
baby, you're so hot. I bet you have the loosest cunt.
Oh my God, no!
But
in general,
one of the things that I also get this from other guys, is that some other guys would approach me and be like, dude, if I had a dick as big as yours, I would like show it off to everyone. And I was like, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Because it's been good.
It's just weird to be just put on display like that. Like what happened was that I had a roommate. When I was younger, there was like 4 or 5 of us living in this huge house, and there was this one roommate. She was really gregarious. She was really out there partying, very bold, bisexual. And she's like, I want to give you a test run. And after she gave me a test run, she literally just told everyone about the size of my fucking junk. And she would like introduce me to her friends. Like, this is my roommate. He's got a large one. And it started spreading around. And that's when I would just have guys, like I would talk to people and they'd be like, one of her friends, like, hey, I'm so and so. It's like, oh, yeah, you're the guy that's like, and they're like, they'll take their fingers and they'll point them out. The show indicates. Fuck's sake! But then, the thing was, is that these guys would be like, yeah, if I was big as you, I would just be whipping out. So, what, and just like, no, you wouldn't, because it's this. I don't.
See, now
for this shit, and you just don't just go out and fucking.
Yeah, because
don't do a fucking airplane spinning out in the fucking city park or anything like that.
Well, one is the helicopter, and also
I would love to see that.
But also it's like yeah, it was like it's like my ex-girlfriend when it's like it's like I would just be getting like messages from her friends and stuff, just be like oh, is it true and stuff about it, and I'm just like. What? I'm just like, okay, hold on. One, why the fuck is that? Why the fuck is she telling everyone about this? And it's like I don't go around telling everyone how her fucking pussy is like an O-ring outside in a bowl of cottage cheese, but think it'll be her all night. But also, But yeah, it's just like that's something I've noticed. Is like it's okay for women to do that kind of stuff, but if a guy does, he's like the biggest bastard on the planet.
No, girls can be as sexual as they want, but dudes,
we actually see that at Comic-Cons with cosplay because they're always talking about how women feel like they're being sexually assaulted because men are looking at them. But when men go and do cosplay, they have women groping them all the time. And you might think
nobody gives a shit about
being groped all the time. No, especially if you don't know who's doing it. People just randomly walk by and touch your ass. And no one talks about that. and even men do complain to the management about, but they don't do anything. But you better believe that if a girl even says, that guy looked at me for a second too long, they'll kick that guy out.
Yeah, it's not like I don't appreciate the attention or the admiration that I would get from these girls that would approach me. But there is a tact, like, what's your fucking name? Before I describe all the little moles on my body. How's that? How about we just establish who you are?
It's like, let me at least learn your last name before I describe you with the exact curvature of my meatless hole.
3,
Yeah,
4.
yeah. I'll tell you my name before I tell you which way it curves, to the left.
Yes. Yes.
See, now I just want to hear more. Please tell me more.
Well, I did have a girl.
And everyone you can show.
She took a picture of my cock with her in there so she could show the size. And she told me she wanted to show it to the girls at work. Now, imagine I take a picture of tits with my face in there so we can get a size comparison so I could show the guys at work. Most girls would not for that. In fact, I was with this girl that I met on MySpace. I know, arcade. And we just
MySpace, those were the days.
Pictures of her. I took a picture. We were having sex. And then the next day, non-stop, she was texting me every 20 minutes. I want you to delete those pics. Delete those pics. I'm busy right now. I'm running errands. Just over and over. And when I deleted them, I'm like, hey, they're deleted on my phone. She'd continue to text me, are you sure you did? Are you sure? And it's like, there's a lot with that girl. Like, there's a whole story there because I only saw her one time, but she was in my life for like 6 weeks. That's a story for another day. Like,
if I was that anal, I would go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like I remember it was like my ex-girlfriend who I told a story about on air, the one who tried to fucking pull the Chris Benoit on me, and it was like she had like her ex-boyfriend like wouldn't leave her alone. She was just like, take my phone, turn on the camera and hit record. And I was like, okay. And then she records her, then she asked me to record her blowing me and then sends it to her ex-boyfriend. And then right after we break up, somehow apparently she'd gotten a new number to get around me blocking her. And she was just like, delete everything. And I was like, oh, trust me, bitch, everything is gone. I want absolutely no memories of you.
Yeah, I mean, see,
like, and this is the same chick who it's like one of her friends who would come over a lot and just bring whatever dude she was cheating on her boyfriend with, which I didn't know at the time, just to fuck in my house because she lived with her boyfriend.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just like, oh, so against my knowledge, I'm running a fuck hotel, basically.
Oh my god.
That I'm still paying for somehow because I'm supplying all the fucking booze, but
wow.
But yeah, it's like she would call my girlfriend and stuff, and she would just like take pictures of herself fucking me and stuff to send it to her and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, but that's okay, but you like actively showing everybody everything.
See, okay, women are so biased when it comes to everything that. Ooh, my wig is getting a little off. All right. So
that's a wig.
It is. But yeah, women are so biased when it comes to stuff like everything has to be their way, but you know, when it comes to men, it's like everything has different standards. So like it all depends on what makes them feel comfortable, and if it doesn't make them feel comfortable, then they have to make the men feel uncomfortable. So
well, one experience that you don't really have Medusa because you don't like women, which makes you awesome, by the way. But I've heard other women talk to me about this, like being in a group with women. They actually hate being around other women because they are so nasty. They are so judgmental. They'll talk about guys like they're pieces of meat and then complain that they think guys think of them that way.
It's all projection.
So hypocritical.
It's all projection.
Yeah.
Because, and to address what you said, I've never met a single woman who enjoys being in the company of other women.
I hate it. I went to a Galentine's Day party, and like the booze, Galentine's is Valentine's, except only for single women, and I'm not single, so I just went because I was invited, and I was just like, I like
desperation day for cat ladies.
Yeah,
basically,
no,
it's a day
literally,
for
I went to.
women.
Yeah, I went to. It was a cat lady's house. I went to her house. It was not bad, but within the first few minutes that I got there, a girl came and basically said that she was wanting to recruit people for a cultural appropriation fashion show.
Oh,
and
fuck off.
Yeah, it just kind of made me like, you know, I was just like, I'm just gonna get as drunk as possible before I leave. Oh, but yeah, that's what I have to deal with in this town. Even the southern, I'm pretty sure if I went to Florida, even the southernest of the southerns, there would still be very, very liberal people around me, and it's very sad.
Florida is fucking crazy. Stay away from Florida.
No, yeah,
in South Carolina, it's largely right-wing territory. It's like I walk around with people. When I go to the gas station to pick up fucking Monsters or beer or whatever. It's like I just see people wearing like fucking Trump 2020 shirts and stuff. But it's like pretty much like as long as you stay away from college campuses, you're good.
Oh yeah. I see.
Except those were great. Those were great stomping grounds, by the way. It's like I would just hang around my local college wearing a Bernie shirt and shooting fish in a barrel. But yeah, it's like
what is the saying? Don't stick your dick in crazy.
That's why
your vagina.
And that's why I always give them a fake name.
Yeah.
I'm from Massachusetts, and they're rivaling California as being a blue state.
Really?
Now, it's not to say that most of the people there are annoying lefties. There's a lot of towny people that just won't take shit. And they're very libertarian, but the whole state is just infested with so many liberal colleges, and it's there's a lot of communism around in certain pockets of Massachusetts.
See, personally, I don't want to say this, but like I feel like women are the main perpetrators and influencers of social justice, and
repeal the 19th Amendment.
Wait, which one is that? The voting rights?
Yes.
But I mean, I just don't understand how women can be so social justice-y and so pro-women and anti-man and not for the good of the people. And honestly, yeah, if women can't make good decisions, like, why should they be able to vote? Like, I'll identify as a man if I have to, just because I feel like I have more common sense than most women. No offense.
No, please, for the love of Odin, do not identify as a man, because otherwise that makes me gay.
I'm gay from Medusa.
Hashtag gay for Medusa. But no, it's just I don't understand. Like, women are they're so pro bad things, and that influences men to be into bad things, and it makes no sense. And literally, if none of this was proposed by women, none of it would exist.
Look, I'm not saying that women are the reason why all the worst things have happened in America, but prohibition and therefore the creation and enlargement of organized crime were pushed entirely by women.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
And women are very, very influential in the drug and human/child trafficking area as well. So it's not just men. They're the bad people. Okay.
The thing is, Medusa, is there's a lot to unpack from that, but a lot of what we see today actually originates from Russia. We talk about Russian collusion now. Russia's been colluding in American affairs since the 50s, when communism infiltrated the colleges, and you had these professors communism about, and it got down to the women. The women turned it into feminism, because there was actually a matriarchal society within Russia. It was actually fairly successful too, because the government kept paying towards it. But this is where a lot of it originates. Now, you are correct about the temperance movement and prohibition that did play a part in it, which was also supported by the suffragettes as well.
I could spend about an hour ranting about the communism. Yeah, I mean, because I just got out of a college campus and holy tit.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. The fact is that social justice is neo-Marxism, and communism is a very female, psychologically female ideology. The fact is that they're about groupthink. They're about having an alpha male providing with everything, which is the state. They're all about distribution, but they're not really good at production. And so I think that the United States, the founding fathers, they had a more masculine, psychologically masculine driven ideology based, it had a root base into the ancient Greek ethos. And the fact is, like, give me the freedom to be able to produce for myself and my family. Stay the fuck out of my way while I'm trying to make a man out of myself. Those are the values of the founding fathers. And then when Marxism came along, it was, you're a victim. We need an alpha male to distribute all these things evenly. These are female values through and through. And
I think you have something there.
Oh,
because, when we look at shit, I just had my point and I lost it. But no, I think you have something there about how these are men and that was the point I want to make. Look at today, the world we have. We have feminism and we have men's rights. Of these two groups, which one is proposing egalitarianism? It's men's rights. We don't want to take away from women. We want to bolster both of us up. We want to be equal. It's feminism that wants to dominate.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, it's like that reminds me of something that Milo Yiannopoulos of all people said. It was feminism is totalitarian discrimination disguising itself as egalitarianism.
That's why they've basically merged with humanism, and now humanism is basically feminism.
Yeah, that's just because whenever any movement in its death throes, it tries to combine itself with as many different groups as it possibly can, which is why nowadays you see every social justice group joining forces with each other, because each and every one of them is dying, and so they're just trying to circle the wagons one last time before they're completely obliterated.
Because, feminism is bonding with LGBT is bonding with the race issue. So now the only people who matter are the gay, lesbian, the lesbian, black, transgendered female. And if you're white, you're out of the group. And it's like
if you're male, you're out of the group.
Destroy.
Okay,
groups together are destroying themselves.
The reason why intersectionality will not work, okay, is because yeah, they supposedly represent all these little groups, but they're too identitarian to actually have a common goal. The only common goal that combines them together is that they assigned all the blame for all the wars in the world on straight white men. That's the only thing that binds them to everything together. Yeah, it's not going to be able to work because, like I said, they have no unified goal. They have no unified purpose. They have no unified value system. All they do is have a worldview that's based on their groups and advantageousness.
There is an example of that.
Tribalism. That's all it is.
There's an example of that where they had a pride parade and Black Lives Matter was a part of it, but there were gay police officers there, and Black Lives Matter pressured the people running the gay pride parade to kick the cops out.
It's like when the women's march. It's like when one of the women's marches was canceled because it was overwhelmingly white.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, intersectionality just fucking cannibalizes itself.
Oh my god!
Or how about the Black Lives Matter movement in the UK is all white people?
Okay, I have something to propose to you guys. What do you? Okay.
Yes.
I want to do. I wouldn't call it I wouldn't call it a protest. I would call it performance art. But I've been wanting to do this for a long time because the port, well, we're called Port City because there's a large port for cargo to come into, and a high percentage of that is human/child trafficking. We are one of the highest, like the biggest ports for child and human trafficking. And I wanted to do a protest about it, but I'm going to do something a little different. But the way I presented it, I feel can be accepted by both sides because, well, some parts of both sides, because there's one part of sex positive feminism that hates anything that puts down sex workers. So when I praised the fact that Backpage was taken down, because that's a very big contributor to child trafficking in the area, I was like, yeah, this is awesome that child and human trafficking is going to be reduced. A bunch of sex workers were like, oh, okay, so you're against sex work, and started basically trying to troll my Facebook page, Modern Medusa, and I was like, what exactly do you have a problem with? And they were like, oh, you're against sex workers. And I was like, you think that because I'm against child trafficking that I'm against sex workers?
That's
okay.
I want to end slavery.
Right.
Oh, you're against workers' rights. That's retarded.
Well, yeah, okay. So that's the thing. I've been wanting to do a performance piece where I'm just gonna stand next to this said port where children come through, and I'm gonna do a performance art piece, but I feel like it can be interpreted as either feminist or men's rights, if you know what I mean, because I'm going to be presenting myself as almost like some feminists present themselves in protest where they're in bikinis and they're like, oh, my body is beautiful and shit like this. But I'm gonna be like, you know, basically. So okay, I'm sorry, I'm a little tipsy. My mind is all over the place. But the basic idea that I have is I'm gonna be standing in front of this port in like kind of a bikini-esque style outfit. I don't know, with a bag over my head and saying something, writing something on my stomach like think of the children. Something like that, you know, just to catch people's eyes. So I feel like that could be interpreted as either feminist, egalitarian, or men's rights activist-ish. So what I'm asking, what do you guys think about a performance art / protest like that?
Well,
against child trafficking.
My first thought is, do you think I could go to the Port Authority and ask to buy one of the Asian women as a wife?
Oh my god. Possibly.
I mean, I'll happily be a part of this in whatever way you need. But yeah, to me that definitely seems like that's something that's bringing attention to like child trafficking, because like. That's something I've been doing. That's something I've been looking into for a while. I've done some stuff. I've done like some stuff on this channel in regards to that, and and it's because it's like this, because like that's definitely something that needs to be addressed, and
right,
and like So I'm honestly pretty plastered right now at this point.
No, me too.
But yeah, it seems like it does seem like a very good thing to be doing. It seems like it's a good idea, and it's most certainly for a good cause. So that's definitely something that would have my full support on it.
Okay.
Well, a couple of things I have on that is, first off, make sure that we're honest about this. And this is something I strongly agree with Christina Hoff Sommers, is that, you know, she talked about overinflating the issue of sex trafficking and child trafficking, that it's not as big as feminists want to make you believe it is. It's still bad and we still need to address it, but we need to make sure that we have the facts. But I was also thinking maybe instead of a paper bag, and this will sound a little morbid at first, but I think it's kind of fitting, is that you have a mask of a child over your face. So while your body is looking sexy, you have a child.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That is a really good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm definitely gonna think about that. Because, well, see, the main reason I asked that is because I've been asking other women to get involved. And one woman said, well, I don't know if it's such a good idea to make it like a sexual thing. And I was like, well, no. It's not supposed to be sexual. Like, I'm going to be in a bikini or whatever, but I'm not trying to be purposely sexual. If people interpret it as sexual, you know, more power to that. It'll catch more attention, but it's like that's not the main like goal.
The purpose of it is to draw attention to what is a major issue that needs to be addressed.
Right. So, but honestly, I don't know if people would be interested in that, or if I might actually have to do it by myself, which I am totally cool with. But I'm just thinking, like, I feel like everybody could be on board with this kind of thing.
Hey, you have my full support, and I'll help out however you need me to. Whatever you need, just fucking DM me.
I'm honestly,
I'll help out however I can.
I'm just looking for a nice day to do it on us.
Well, one, I would still be hard around you if you're wearing a burqa. Two,
God damn it.
Two, if I'm sure you want to do this sometime this year, But if we do the meetup next year and I can actually attend that, I would love to do some sort of protest with you. So if you're not able to do it this year, consider doing it next year.
Oh yeah, I'm sure if we do a meetup in 2020, I would love to do even multiple protests if we were able to. But yeah, this is something I've been wanting to do since last year, I think, because it's mostly something that I'm concerned about because the port that is near me, their regulations are so low that they really don't even check for stuff like this. So I feel like a protest for something like this would be actually potentially beneficial to laws and stuff that could potentially prevent stuff like this. So
your protest kind of reminds me of what the feminist protests take back the night, where they hold a candle and they tape their mouth shut. And that's what I'm thinking with yours. Like, if you could get some people there wearing child masks and wearing swimsuits or bathing suits during the daytime and just standing there, not doing anything else.
It's like I know a couple of people who are in or around your area that I can talk to, see if they would be interested in doing something like that, to helping you out with it. I'm sure they would be, and just try to help out with this.
I appreciate that. Yeah, anything that anybody wants to suggest anything, please feel free, because this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I have a photographer who's interested in taking pictures and videos of the event. So if I do that, plus possibly contact the local news, they could potentially be something really cool. So we'll see.
Yeah. One thing I would say was also include both girls and guys in it, because especially
that's a good idea.
Yeah, because it's like, if I remember correct, because it's like in the United States there's also a giant issue with sex trafficking of young boys too, because
people don't think about that. And
it's like, especially to get like a good crowd of both, that would definitely
even if I were able to get like one other chick and one dude, that would probably be like a decent fucking representation, because like people don't think about boys when it comes to sex trafficking, and that definitely
I'll do it.
Let's do it.
I try not to think about boys when I'm doing sex trafficking, but the last statistic I heard on it, and I don't know if it's an inflated number or not, but they said that in the U.S., 200,000 people, women and children, not women, children, men, women, and children, 200,000 are in the sex traffic trade. 75% of them are female. And that's the only thing they focus on. But that would mean that 50,000 are men and boys.
Yeah.
It's not quite as much as 200,000, but that is still a lot.
Yeah, and it's like either way, it's like, regardless as to whether men regardless as to men, women, or children, that's definitely something that should be addressed and have attention drawn to it. And it's like I said, I'll do it. I'd be fine with it. Whatever you want me to do, I'll fucking do it.
Well, I'm hoping to possibly do it maybe like next month, potentially. We'll see. But if I find another chick, I don't know. I don't have a lot of chick friends, so we'll see.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can find someone.
Okay.
So that
maybe I'll post it on Twitter and see if anybody else can collab.
So it's like that way. It's like if you can't find anyone, we'll have a backup.
Okay. So. There we go.
Well, you should probably also make a press release as well, and try to. Not that this will necessarily work, but it would probably still be to your benefit. Like the day before you do, well, week before and the day before, email news publications, email radio stations. It's actually what I did when I did the Red Pill screening in Philadelphia. I called up news stations. I emailed them.
If you could help me with that, that would be super awesome.
I actually have some contacts. I actually have some.
No, yeah.
I actually have a
I don't care if it doesn't work or not.
I actually have a couple contacts with my local news organization, like for the Tri-City area or Tri-County area that I'm in, and just see if we can get some like coverage of it. But I'll see what I can do in regards to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't help you with that. I still think it's a good idea, but I just warn you that when I did it, no one bit. No one cared.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, I know at least one person personally who has been to a couple of the protests that I've been to already that would probably be interested. But other than that, I would love to, at least try and, put it out to more people. So, yeah, anything that puts out.
You probably also put it on Craigslist as like an event that you're doing. Because a lot of people still look at Craigslist for upcoming events.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. I might do a Facebook event. Well, that's the thing. I'd have to decide on a day, and that would have to be like a good weather day. I'd have to be sure about the weather and like shit like that. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah. Besides that, I am very tired. So we should probably get to closing in a little bit.
I am very drunk, so that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And I'm just a wreck.
Also, yes. Well, actually, no.
What did I say?
Actually, no. Considering what we just talked about, no, I'm not. But
okay.
I said a wreck. If you heard anything else, that's on you.
Well, my hearing is destroyed, so I hear like one syllable out of every word and just basically best guess.
That works. Well, how about you go ahead and chill yourself first, Mister?
Me? All right. Follow me on Twitter at TwistedMr5. Subscribe to my channel. A video I'm very proud of that I did was a video on why women should not be allowed to vote. I do some other stuff. Lately, something that's become a thing of mine is I've just been going through just finding pedos online. So that's something that I do. Other than that, I don't really have anything to shill. So
there you go. All right, Mr. Triggers.
You can't follow me on Twitter because they permanently ban me. Either find me on Minds, YouTube, Gab, although I haven't actually been on there for a long while. But I'm currently working on the 6th major episode, which I think it's going to be over a half an hour long at this point. It's
nice.
But it's gonna be long, long and hard.
That's what she said.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, long and hard. That's the only way I do it.
Oh yeah.
But it's gonna be we're gonna be tackling immigration in this one.
Oh, yeah.
And Medusa, I want your help on something. Instead of the singing, I actually got rights to a song by 8-Bit Universe today for the ending of it. So So I'm decided that I would rather have you do more drawing for me. I want you to do like a another closing credit drawing.
Awesome. Yay!
Yeah.
I would love to.
Awesome. Just that I basically give you a rough draft of what I kind of want, and just name your price, and there you go. Yeah.
Awesome. Yay! All right. Mad Cat, you want to go ahead and do your stuffs?
So I'm not hated enough to be blocked or banned anywhere, so you can still find me on Twitter. You can also find me on Patreon. I still collect donations there. Every little bit helps, because I am trying to save up money to get health insurance. And while I'm nowhere close, I mean, like I said, that money does help me out a lot. I mean, I get like $28 a month, and it might as well be like $2,800 a month. I mean, just that's how valuable money is to me right now. But if you could spare a couple of bucks, I appreciate it. If you don't want to do Patreon because they are soulless fuckers, please don't ban me, Patreon. You can do PayPal. I have my link down below there, and you can send me money directly. Or if you also think PayPal soulless fuckers, please PayPal, don't ban me. Check out my book on Amazon.com. I wrote a book on how to destroy women now, which is a book I made in protest of another book, How to Destroy Men Now. And good news, I got my first 1-star review where someone looked at the preview of the book. And I designed this purposely that if you look at just the preview, it sounds like I'm a misogynist shitlord. Now, in the first chapter, it does say go to the last chapter of the book before you continue reading, where in the last chapter, which you cannot see in the preview, it says do not do anything in this book. I'm just doing this book as a protest for how to destroy a man now. But the person just like, oh, this person needs to stop watching Jordan Peterson things, and he thinks he's like a neck beard hero. It's like, how did you know I have a neck beard? It's just so funny.
Oh my god!
I'm so happy that someone actually hated my book. Yeah. So just make my book popular.
So hard.
But buy my book, make it popular so feminists get angry with it. Amazon takes it down, and we can pressure Amazon to take the first book down. Plus, that does help me out. I get like $2 for every purchase made. So if you got $2, buy my book and help me out.
Oh, yeah. And you already know how I've been doing. If you follow me on the Twitters, I'm currently looking for a car. I'm actually looking for a van. So if anybody knows where I can buy a van in the North Carolina area. What?
A van down by the river?
Yes. A large van is what I am looking for, because that is my dream car and I would like to have it forever. So if anybody has any leads, let me know. But besides that, you can donate for cosplay pictures, GIFs, videos, basically anything you want. Just ask for it. And also art at paypal.me/medusasgorgons. Patreon does not exist anymore for me. It might eventually, but all the rewards that you get will be through PayPal. So follow that down below and follow me on all the other stuffs, and you get the good stuffs. As long as you tell me who you are, because I can't know who you are if you don't tell me.
And remember to send Medusa dick pics at twitter.com/Vanessa with cheese.
Please do. I will appreciate them very much.
When you get that van, are you going to 80s airbrush the shit out of that thing?
You better.
I am going to put so many different weird things like murals on it. You don't even know.
She's gonna spray paint dicks on the side.
There's gonna be titties. There's gonna be dicks. The first thing I was thinking about putting on was just the meme machine. So
also, yes, put the meme machine on and on top of all the other weird shit that gets painted on it.
Oh my god. Probably the top of the van will be the most explicit because nobody can see it. We'll see how that goes.
That's just the top of the van's just gonna be like a still of just straight anal.
Exactly. It's gonna be me getting fucked in the ass by
you know why
and you better if it's a picture of you getting fucked in the ass, you better send it to me.
We'll see. Perfect, because if you're ever in a highway chase and they show it on the news, blur it out so they can't actually see your vehicle on the news.
You're a fucking genius.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight for our reunion. I'm sorry we weren't here last week, but we will be here next week. So set your reminders for the Macho Show.
And be sure to ring
Macho Show.
Yes, ring that bell. You can ring my bell. Okay, bye.